So at home with Mo the dog. Mo, right? That's what they named their dog?
Correct.
Yeah.
Jesse's listening, which we appreciate him tuning in. I don't know if he's watching the video or if he's listening on the ESPN app or Wisconsin On Demand, but he did a screen capture of my exchange with Jordan Love from Packers.com. It's a tough angle. Like, Jordan's got to turn away to talk to me. It's not ideal. It's also not the most flattering photo I've ever seen of me, but that's neither here nor there. The question that I wanted him to answer, Tausch, was everyone is assessing him. How does he assess himself?
Great question.
Thanks.
Hey, before you get into that,
Yeah.
So who's going to be the first Jack in the Box guy? Reporter.
I think it has to be. I think at this point everyone is expecting it to be me.
Yeah. And
Like-
will you do it? When's your next deal with him?
I don't know. He talked yesterday, so I don't know when the next time will be. But everyone knows it's your idea. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. I'm hoping that we move away from the laundry bin and it never happens.
No. If it happens next week, you need to do it. And then the question is, do you wear the bucket hat? That's a good look at you right there. You look very like you're really into it.
He and I
Jordan
are vibing.
looks like God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jordan looks like what the blank.
No, I think he's just blinking, and that's when the screen capture
No,
was
he
done.
looks bored. Strophy, throw that up on our Facebook page. Let's get some captions on that, and potentially on our Threads / Instagram, which I don't know if you have access to.
Jason, you got to send Jordan to your haircut guy.
He's growing it out a little bit.
Okay.
He's definitely growing it out, I think. And it's a gal. All right. So I want people to hear this, and I would also like to clarify. I did ask 3 questions in a row. That rarely happens. But this was 20 questions in, and I hadn't asked any yet. So we kind of got going back and forth. Here is, I don't know how long this takes because Lord knows my questions are not short either. But here is my back and forth with Jordan Love yesterday at the laundry hamper.
So, everybody wants to assess you, right? You're being smart enough to stay away from the social media part of it. But you had a couple of wild throws this week, right? The one to Samori, the one to Christian deep ball yesterday, and then the one to Reed that he wasn't quite able to make, right? I know you're not satisfied with anything, but when you self-assess, what do you like that you're doing, and what do you feel like I have to be better at this if we're going to be as good as I want us to be?
Yeah, I think the good thing about those throws were they're all one-on-one balls, and really for me it's trying to put it out there where I can give my guy a chance, not underthrow anybody, let the DB make a play, and those were a couple instances right there where it was just a really good ball, a great route, and the play came together perfectly. Obviously, the one to Jay Reed we missed on 4th down. But I think those are all, for myself, those are all really good confidence throws. You make a throw like that, and you're like, all right, that felt good. So you can kind of repeat that, remember how it felt, remember everything that went into it. And those all just build your confidence, especially when you hit it with the receiver. Everybody feels good about those ones.
What about on the other side? Are there things right now where you're like, I don't feel good about what we're doing, or I'm doing here, I need to be better here? Is there anything that jumps out to you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me that's kind of disappointed me so far is pocket movement. Kind of when the play breaks down, my feet kind of get off. Been a little kind of spastic in the pocket and not being able to stay in control, stay in my base, and just kind of go through the reads. And that's kind of when I've got off and missed a couple of easy throws. And those are the ones you wish you can get back. But I think that's the biggest thing that I just got to keep working is just having that balance in the pocket, not getting flustered. And if I need to get out, just get out and make play.
Are those deep balls the good ones? Are they also a lesson in you pissed at yourself for the underthrows you had on the first day? Is that what we're talking about here in terms of how you develop? Is I'm not happy with something, and a couple days later I'm doing a lot better than I was?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's all about what you focus on, and that's been a key for me. Is I really wanted to focus after that first day is completing those deep balls. I felt like I was underthrowing them a little bit. Matt, we talked about it again, just letting it rip, and that's been my mindset is just throw it out there, give him a chance to go get it. If I'm going to miss deep. I'm not going to underthrow any balls. So that's been my mindset and something I've been focusing on. And obviously now the footwork thing is something that I want to focus on now too.
All right, so 2 things I really like there before you critique.
Who talked more there, you or him?
Oh, he did, definitely.
You or Jordan?
No, he did. Yeah.
It was closer than you think, I think.
It's a pretty tight.
The first
Strophe, do the analytics, or we
do
can
the
send it
word
up to
count.
Geriad.
Yeah, let's
five-
get
Hey, you can do the
565
analytics.
on that.
I think it is really close.
No, the
Okay,
first
continue.
question was a little involved. The follow-ups were not nearly as involved. All right. Two things.
A
One,
little involved.
slightly. Two things. One, the easy answer to my second question about what he's not happy with and what he needs to improve on. The easy answer is, well, I got to improve on everything. I'm focused on all the different aspects. And instead, I love the fact that he was specific about something he really wants to get better. Okay, so that's one.
Yep.
Two,
Yep.
I thought the deep ball conversation was great because remember we talked about this after that first practice or even during it, where afterward there was one reporter was like trying to chalk it up to the wind, and both Jordan and Matt LaFleur were like, it wasn't the wind. And so he takes that, and isn't this what you're supposed to do, Tausch? You take something, you don't do it well enough, you look at the tape, you think about how you're doing it, you talk to your coach, and you say, I got to do this better. LaFleur tells him to let it rip, which is something we've wondered whether he's been doing. And then he's completing deep balls left and right. That's how this is supposed to work. That's the process. So those are the two things that I walked away very encouraged by.
Well, I just think the more we get to learn about Jordan and his mindset, the more you like him. And the more you hear what he has to say and how he's approaching it, I think, we go back and we look at the whole process of his drafting and how he's handled it. And I think he's done a really good job of handling all of the other stuff. And now he's taking ownership of it. And I couldn't agree more. The fact that it's so easy just to say what you said, the canned, bland, generic answers, get done with this interview and move on with my life. But I do think he wants, he's learning as he's going too and understanding the weaknesses that he's got to work on and seeing some results already. I agreed with your assessment after, we sent those clips over yesterday, understanding where his mind is and what he's looking at. He could easily say, I don't want to take on a ton of criticism. I want to just go out. I'm going to continue to improve. But he's taking it head on. And I love that. And I think the fact that you're seeing improvement and you're seeing these wow throws that you keep talking about, I think it's a great sign from a Packer fan standpoint that don't know how Jordan's going to be. Let me make that clear. I don't know. But I know his mindset and how his approach is the right way to do it. Now, whether the talent's going to match up with that, we'll find that out. But right now, I think his mental approach and how he's handling things, he has been fantastic with it in the limited amount of time that he's been the number one QB1.
So give us the insight that no one else can. So you're playing early in your career, and there's something that maybe you're not happy with, your punch or your kick or your hand placement or how you handle a bull rush or whatever it is. So what's the process? Because you got to do it, right? He knows he's got to be able to throw the deep ball effectively. He knows he's got to be able to move in the pocket and create enough of an opening to get a throw off without being off balance and getting the ball stripped or whatever. So when you recognize a shortcoming in your game, how do you take it and get it to where it needs to be without taking a really long time to do it, because it's not like you got a long time to fix it?
Well, first off, you always try as an O-lineman, as a quarterback, it doesn't matter. You always want to position yourself to play to your strengths. So if you're not great at, quarterback's a different animal because you have so many different things. But let's say I wasn't great at opening my hip up and getting out. Well, you train, you try to get, different skill sets that will help you do it. But the big thing is, if it's cutting off a backside three technique, which is the guy lined up between the guard and the tackle, and you have an outside zone play, it's about, okay, maybe I'm taking too short of an inside step. I need to open my hip up and then run. And so there's all these little things that you can work on. Your pass set. Hey, I got to bring my foot straight back. If I kick out at an angle, I'm going to get beat across my face. They're looking at that film, so that's where you're studying it, you're trying to figure it out, and you embrace that, And the great thing about that is when you do that proactively yourself, coaches eat that up. When coaches will tell you something and you could say, well, coach, I'm having some problems with this. And unless it's something that you can't fix and you're just too slow or you're not good enough, and they'll say, yeah, we noticed that too in your cut. It's much better if you say, yeah, well, what you're doing is you're not pushing off of that outside leg to open up your hips. You're trying to take a false step. It's all those little minutia things that when you start noticing it and then you overcorrect and overpractice it to reemphasize how you're going to approach it to get better, that's what coaches are looking for.
So what you're saying is if you walk into your bathroom and you look at it and you go, ugh, this looks terrible. What am I going to do about this? Then you have to assess and say, I need to call Kohler Services.
Yes, you do, and you need to treat yourself to a new shower. This summer, Kohler Services, a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service, has brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. And when you think premium, quality, luxury, Wisconsin brand, Kohler comes to the top of my mind as the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote. Tell them that Old T sent you. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
I have had more people reach out to me to tell me that the only person that they know that actually called Peyton Manning the sheriff was John Gruden. This guy is the only guy that they remember ever calling him this. So, that said, we will still refer to him on this show going forward as the sheriff. And Jordan Love told us about his conversation with the sheriff. You'll hear him talk about his discussion with the long arm of the law and the Pro Football Hall of Famer. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.